Hey everybody, I'm John Roark, Editor-in-Chief of Phoenix Home and Garden, and we are here at the Arizona Fine Art Expo, which runs through March 23rd. And right now we're talking with gourd artist Jane Boggs.
Correct.
Jane, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm really excited about our opening night here at Expo for our year 25.
That's right, it is the 25th year.
Yeah.
How many years have you been part of the show?
I think I'm at about 15 years
Okay,
now.
all right.
Yeah, so...
So you are embedded in the community or the tribe as many of the artists?
I'm part of the family.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's probably one of the neatest things about being here. When I first started, a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, 2.5 months, 87 days, or whatever it breaks out to. That's got to be just awful. And I said, it's like going to art camp with 100 friends.
I love
It's
that.
just wonderful.
That's fantastic. So you do gourd art.
Gourd art.
Okay, and so when I look at these pieces, which are exquisite, and we'll pan around and see some of them, but they don't look like gourds, many of them. That's not what I would say, oh, a gourd.
Well, most people won't. What most people don't realize is there are 13 varieties, and so that in essence means there's 13 different shapes.
Okay.
For instance, this is a sculpture piece, which I really love doing these. This is a snake gourd.
Okay.
Which, if you look at it, it's sort of snaky looking.
So even under the garment,
this is all gourd from here to here.
All right.
Anyway, there's 13 different kinds, and most people think of a pear-shaped gourd, or a canteen-shaped gourd, but there's a lot of different.
Where do they come from? Do you grow them yourself?
I buy mine down in Casa Grande.
Okay.
There's a gourd farm down there, and I think last season they grew 375,000 gourds, give or take a few.
And how many did you end up with?
374,000.
Do you go there through a shopping cart and just throwing them in there?
Well,
Not
actually
quite.
you have these little trailers that you put stuff in, and now I've been doing it long enough. I go down with specific things in mind. Again, back to the snake gourd that I do sculptures. I do a lot of artwork with canteen gourds, which can be used for a lot of different things. So this is a canteen. The name is because it looks like a canteen.
Okay.
These masks are canteen gourds that have been cut in half.
Okay. So when you get the gourds, is it like when you buy a pumpkin at the store, you have to hollow them out and
when
clean them up?
I buy them, I should have one here, but I don't. They're dried.
Okay.
I buy them dried. There's some people that buy them in the green form. Most of the time they are dirty, so I have to bring them home and
scrub them up. Yes, and there was something I think I remember in your bio. Is it during the scrubbing process that you kind of get a sense of what it's going to become?
Yes.
Okay, talk about that.
So I go to the back patio, and I get a big tub of water.
Right.
And I'll have various sizes of gourds, and I have my dogs there because they have to be with me too.
Of course.
And so I'll be scrubbing them, and sometimes they talk to me.
Love that.
Now that makes me a little cuckoo. I guess I'm a little cuckoo, but and I finally, after doing it for a long period of time, I take a pencil out with me, and then I will work on a gourd that just speaks to me, and I'll actually sit right there and draw the design on the gourd as I'm cleaning it.
Okay.
They don't all speak to me like that.
Right, but there's the ones that have louder voices.
Well, and again, I picked the snake gourds. This is another one. This one you can really see.
Okay.
You can see the snakiness to it.
Oh, that is very snaky.
And they also, because of all the curvatures, I also think it gives them attitude.
Definitely.
And you definitely want artwork with attitude.
Absolutely.
So
now, is there symbology involved? What the materials that you use, are they? Do you just use whatever speaks to you, or are there? Talk about the design. Is that all you? Are there Native American aspects to it?
When I first started out, it was very heavy Native Americans.
Okay.
And again, when I started the sculpture gourds, I loved the Hopi Kachinas. Those are the ones without arms or legs.
Okay.
And so that was initially how it got me started. Again, that was 25 years ago.
Right.
So now I use a lot of the Southwest colors, obviously,
Sure. Okay.
but I call them multicultural now.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
So this mask over here, the big mask,
Yes.
I call Tatanka, which is Southwest Native American. This mask is Egyptian.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I call this one Son of Ra.
Okay.
So this is a duck, and in the hieroglyphics, a duck means sun, S-O-N.
Okay.
And so I call this Son of Ra, and then it has the little scarabs down here that stand for immortality.
Okay.
So most of my pieces will have some sort of story behind them.
Okay.
This one was designed after the chartreuse feathers, which belong to Paco, who is a client of mine, and she owns the bird, and the bird is all that color.
Really fascinating.
So I wanted to design this particular mask around that color.
And that just pops.
And that
then
was
you've got the peacock feathers. Okay. And then, so this won a big prize, Arizona Gourd Society.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I'm noted for my masks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were talking a couple of minutes ago about the jewel in the crown of what you've got here, and it's this big guy over here. Okay, so that one is called Tatanka. Okay.
Which means buffalo.
Okay.
I initially wanted to call it something else, and when I had clients come and first look at it, they said, "Oh, what a gorgeous buffalo."
Oh.
I didn't think of that, but if you stand and look at it, this part right here really does resemble
it does.
a buffalo.
But then you've got some of those elements like the scarabs with the Egyptian ones. So,
And this is a texture that I make.
yeah, I was going to ask about that. What is that?
It's just a texture that I put together that I've developed over the years, and it just makes a more three-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course it has, these are all real feathers.
Right.
They're all natural feathers.
And this looks like the same bird that was over here that we were talking about.
No, actually this is a different,
it's a different
this is
one?
a parrot.
Oh, okay.
This one is called a severe macaw.
Okay.
I also could do a study on birds.
You could, clearly. Clearly you know much more than I do.
So there's macaw feathers. Obviously, there are peacock feathers. This probably has at least a couple thousand feathers in it.
Wow.
Each one is done one at a time, hand selected, trimmed, and placed one at a time.
Fantastic.
Which the big ones, you know, they make the statement.
Right.
It's these little guys that really take the time to do.
So for a piece about this size, how many hours are you investing?
It's the only question after all these years I can't answer because because of the process and the drying.
Okay.
Because the headdress is done in clay.
Okay.
That headdress is done probably in 10 parts.
Okay.
One part will take 8 hours. And it's so I have to finish the part, and so I won't work on one at a time. If I'm doing masks, I might work on 4 of them at a time.
Okay.
So that I'm doing the process, and while this one's
not
drying,
sitting idle. Okay.
Yes,
All
exactly.
Right. All right. And what do you have collectors, or do they come in and they're just so taken by a piece that they will purchase it, or both, I would imagine?
A little of both.
Okay.
I can usually tell when people come in my studio at home or come in here, if they're sort of bonding with a piece, I can tell that they really are starting to get attached to it.
And you live in Cave Creek?
I live in
correct?
Cave Creek, and I have a studio gallery in my home.
Okay.
So if I'm not here, I'm there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any other pieces you'd like to talk about?
This one's an interesting piece. This is a drum.
Okay.
This is called an ocean drum. So it's designed after the Northwest Indians who live on the ocean. And so this drum, as you think of most drums, can be played this way.
Right.
However, this one is played, and this is the gourd. This is probably one of the largest gourds you'll see.
Wow.
This is called a bushel gourd.
Okay.
A giant bushel gourd. But this one is played this way.
Wow, okay. Is this where the stem was?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it
That's
sound
really
like the
beautiful.
ocean?
It's like rain. Or the ocean, yeah, it does sound like the ocean.
And so that's the design I came up with this, because it is designed after the Northwest Indians. So this is this is artwork you can play with.
Exactly. Will you be working on pieces during the expo?
Yes, I will.
And how is that as an artist, having people watch you? Do you like that, or you don't notice it?
I don't mind it at all.
Okay, that's good.
And they can ask questions. The people that own this show are always saying, why don't you do some of your feather work in here?
Yeah.
Which I would love to, but I said if we had one of these little breezes come
Exactly, yeah.
the lady next door to me that's doing oil painting would be very angry with me, because all the feathers would go stick in her oil painting.
She would have a texture that she hadn't
Yeah.
anticipated.
So I can do wood burning in here, which all of these lines are carved.
Oh,
with
okay. I was wondering
hot
about.
burning. Okay.
Is
the big lines are wood burned.
Okay.
The smaller lines are all hand drawn.
Wow.
So I can do stuff like that in here, and
Okay.
obviously I can paint in here.
Sure.
So, but yeah, you have to have something to do.
And do you know about how many pieces you have here now?
No.
Okay. But you
I never thought to count them.
I got you on that one.
You got me. But I, as I sell,
Sure.
then I
You
work on
replenish
some and I replenish
Right.
them.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good selection, and it's a great variety of styles. And that I wanted to ask you earlier. I'm glad I remembered. How has your work evolved over the years? So you've been at it for a while, and you mentioned that you started doing kind of the Kachina type things. Do you see pieces that you did back then? Do they still hold true to you, or has your work evolved so much that they look like just a different era? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
When I started doing the Kachinas, the first one I ever sold, when I think of it now, I'm horrified. Not that it was really that bad, but obviously I have evolved.
Sure.
Things have become more refined, more delicate.
Right.
The masks have grown bigger. I can't
Right.
get them much bigger than this. I mean, this mask is almost 5 feet wide, so
That's amazing.
that's impossible. I use a lot more embellishments,
Okay.
which is really fun. I actually refer to the gourd as my canvas.
Okay.
And so the embellishments, if you look around, there isn't any. I
Right.
have a lot of stuff, as my grandkids call it, to embellish with. But then I do some plain things. People really like these. They'll go just about any place.
Right.
And I know when people are looking at these because they start laughing. You know why?
No.
Because it's called Bad Hair Day.
That's perfect.
So, I try to do some whimsical stuff.
Okay.
At Christmas time, I did pickleball paddles.
Oh, that's what they are. Okay. And then are these like
And
ornaments?
these are little ornaments.
Okay.
Little bear ornaments.
Beautiful.
So, and that's what's really fun about doing artwork on gourds. Whatever you can think of,
Yeah, exactly.
you can do.
I love that.
It's just really fun.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Well, thank
today.
you.
Again, we're here with Jane Boggs at the Arizona Fine Art Expo through March 23rd. Tickets are on sale now, and the great thing about this is that you buy a ticket and you can use it for the entire run of the show. So it's impossible to take everything in that's here in one
Impossible.
evening or 1 hour or even a day. So the beauty of that is come back as many times as you want and explore the different artists, meet them, talk to them, watch them do their work.